Yeah.
It didn't
Oh,
work
so
for you.
happy to see you.
Yeah. It sounds
um,
really lovely what's happening with you, Julia.
oh
Really
my God,
lovely.
Lisa, this is so intense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, oh God, I guess I just have to share a little because
Yeah.
I'm doing quite well, but just when I have a chance to speak with you, I want to share because I have moments where it a little overwhelms me.
Yeah.
You know, it first of all, like, it happens in so many layers. Like it happens physically, like or energetically, vibration, but it also happens, like, I don't know if the mentally would be the right word, but I have such a bizarre situations in my life. Like, it is impossible. Like, I went to school to Lily goes to school in summer, so I had the first parents meeting at school, and I'm sitting there in the room and I'm just in love with everyone. And I have to, like, hold myself back that I don't just start jumping and hugging everyone. And then I really do my best, like, to make an okay impression, because like, they're new parents and she's gonna be with them for 4 years. So I don't want them to think that, like, there's a crazy mother. Or, like, some bizarre situation, like, I would sit in a cafe and I would feel like there is no identity. But Lisa, this is so deep and this is so beyond the mind. It's not like that I'm imagining something or want something. It's just like I lose touch with everything, like my feeling of sense of me and sense of, like, what my life is about, and what it goes, like, so it gets so out of touch that I sit and I literally don't know anymore, like, what is me, what is happening. But it's not like intellectual or kind of a mind
No.
fuck. It's more
Energetic,
energetical,
yeah. Yeah, totally.
Oh,
And
God.
do you get scared when that happens?
No,
No.
no, no.
I know that's good
It's
that you don't get scared, because
not.
that is it. It's a radical energetical shift. There's lots of different awakenings, but the one that you're doing that's happening now in the Julia body is the energetical awakening, and this is really radically different from the way that you've lived your life. And what it
Yeah,
feels like is that you're being hollowed out. So you'll go through moments of there'll be different ones that will happen. There'll be feeling totally in love with everyone, which will feel like going out, like you're so into
yeah,
everything. And then there will be the other one, which is totally hollow, where there's nothing which is in relationship. It's totally empty looking. And you can't even notice it. It's so bizarre. It's like it's happening. And there can be a registration in some bizarre way of thoughts, but it's not something that you're doing or anything. It's like a clearing out of the system. And so it goes both ways. It's like an emptying out, and it feels like the emptying out, you'll have to watch the video back to see my actions, is in the body kind of thing, but
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
really. And then a going out into all things. And and normally this comes as like a pulsing, like it's happening and then it
mhm,
closes again, like this happens and then there's deep contraction. And normally what you'll find is there'll be deep contraction and then there'll be one of these openings. So you'll go through, this isn't to encourage deep contractions, but you'll be feeling like a burning energetically. There'll be a
oh,
pain
but I
somewhere.
do, yeah, oh, but I do have it as well.
Yeah, and it'll
Like,
be,
I don't necessarily hate someone on the outside. For me, it's more like I hate myself.
yeah, and you'll feel
Or
it really strongly in the body somewhere, that hate. It will be a really energetical sensation. And then if that's stayed with and not run away from, but it's not your effort, if it's just kind of acknowledged and allowed to come out, then normally one of these energetical things happen again of being the empty or the falling in love. And this can go on, sorry, Julia, but it can go on for a few years. It's really like it takes time, because if you think of thousands and thousands of generations of investment, it's such a strong energy of being someone. And then what's beginning to happen is humanity's beginning to wake up, and it's like it's so different from what the body's been used to. And this body is made up of information of thousands of generations. It's totally loss of center of anything in relationship. And then there's a total completion that takes over. I don't know if you've felt that yet. A completion that's so whole that nothing is needed, but yet the body still carries on. and does its
Yeah.
thing and move towards pleasure, but there's nothing that's needed as well. But it's very confusing when you're awakening, because at one point you'll feel so in love and so complete, and then the next moment you'll be screaming and having a tantrum like you're like a 2-year old. Like it's really quite an extreme period.
Yeah, I know.
And energetically,
You know,
you won't be able to place yourself anywhere. You can't find a story that fits you.
no. But like I also remember you talked to Guy last time. I was listening, and then you said something about 7 years or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah.
then I started meditating with 14, and then I felt like, oh God, I'm so stupid and I'm so slow, like it's way beyond the 7 years, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
But I think it's
oh,
it's 7 years from the initial energetical awakening. I don't know.
mhm.
I mean, I don't. This
Or
is
whatever. No, I
just
was just
some,
laughing.
yeah,
It doesn't matter. I'm
yeah,
not trying to figure out. It's just,
yeah.
uh,
And this was
you know,
some sutra that somebody read to me one time, and I was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was just laughing about being so helpless. Lisa, there's something else what is happening, like parallel to this.
yeah,
It's also very intense shift. Like, yeah, I feel also right now, I feel so energetical. It's hard for me to find words, but I want to share it with you, so I do my best.
yeah,
Like, from the outside, my life looks very comfortable and beautiful at the moment, and very fulfilling, and it haven't been like this for always. So it's just a period of time, and what is happening parallel, like I feel so fulfilled, I feel so deeply nourished that there is nowhere to go. You understand what I mean? Like I feel the life doesn't make sense anymore, but not in a negative way, not in a depressive way. It's more like throughout fulfillment. I had a bodywork session 2 days ago, and someone was giving me a massage, and then suddenly I felt like this body, while I was touching, I felt it can die just now.
yeah,
Like life is full, like it's fulfilled. I don't have to die.
yeah,
but there was such a,
yeah,
I don't know if the let go would be a right word, but such a feeling of fulfillment
yeah,
that I felt everything which will happen after this moment would be kind of a repetition of what I already had before. So it would be a version. It also can be like, as I said, I'm not negative or depressed. I'm not against life and against going on. But it felt like a deep knowing that whatever would come, like I would know it somehow already. Do you understand what I'm talking, or I'm talking nonsense?
No, I understand. I think your brain is interpreting it in the wrong way, but I
Okay.
understand the feeling, and the feeling is you have done everything, because
Yeah.
this is
Yeah. That's it.
like, this is going to sound bizarre, and I'm most probably not going to get this into words very well, but in a way, as beingness, you have, because you're not Julia, you're not just Julia's life, you've played every role, and
Yeah.
you've done everything. And now I think when the human wakes up, it is like the end.
Mm.
Like it is like the end of that, because there's nothing left that could bring you anything anymore. I think it's a really beautiful thing.
But this is what I feel at the end. It doesn't matter if body dies or not. There was like more inner, like I don't care how long it has to carry or not. But it was like inner sense what you described, that I had it all.
Yeah.
I know it all. I know pain. I know.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
It's beautiful.
It just would repeat. It would be a version of what I know already. Like
Yeah.
as if you watched all the films.
Yeah, somewhere.
And
As
then like
to being it. Oh, hello?
yeah.
Yes,
No,
darling.
I'm totally like drunk with your words.
Yeah, me too.
Oh God. Oh, I love you so much, Lisa.
I love
I'm
you
so
too,
crazy
Julia.
about you.
I'm like,
I
tuk,
just,
tuk, 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 when you speak. You can't see me, but I'm having a celebration over here. It's
Okay.
because this
I
has
listen
to
to you
happen.
for hours.
Everything you're describing has to be like that. I know it can feel. I remember periods where I had to get up and go for a walk in the middle of the night because I had so much energy, like just walking and walking, and like there was so much, and I was like, there was nowhere for me to put it in. Like life was happening, but it was just intense for the body. It was like overload. But it's what has to happen, and then finally, poof, and then there's this radical shift that will happen. It's like at the moment, it's like, whoo, you can't see what I'm doing. You have to watch it back, but it's like a pulsating in and out. Like it's
Mm,
it's being tasted and then back and then tasted, and you can't make sense of it in the mind because you can never remember one of those experiences correctly or accurately because it doesn't fit into words.
yeah. And I said that I listen to you for hours, like every day, and the strongest message. Actually, I wanted to tell you this also. Like, by the way, it's not so important, but because I started meditating with 14, like I had lots of different experiences, or like silence or bliss or whatever, love, whatever. But it always was happening to me.
Yeah,
And this is the core change. Like
yeah,
since I met you, everything was happening to me. Like being more loving, holding my emotions, healing my trauma, blah blah blah. Everything was happening to me. And since I listened to you, this message that there is no one, or it happens to no one, it's just like it feels as if it takes the ground under my feet, and like all my story, all my experiences, all my what I do, what I don't do, what I feel, what I don't feel, how I evolve or don't evolve. Like there's just no one that's
yeah,
involved. and, and this message is you say sometimes that people get depressed or they think, oh, there's nothing to do, but for me it's like the most powerful
yeah,
thing I ever heard.
yeah.
It's like,
But
nothing.
I think also the difference with you is compared to other people is beforehand you with Osho work, you did a lot of balancing Julia out. So you were
Mhm.
aware of those thought patterns, and you were aware of going negative. So there wasn't. So Julia, when she came to this, the
Mm.
personality of Julia was quite even, or more even and less neurotic than most people. So when hearing this, there wasn't the trying to hold it on as a new identity. Like it already was quite clear a lot of things. So that's really wonderful that it was heard like that because it's such a
It,
beautiful
it's
message.
yeah, it's the best message I ever heard. It's like I can't get enough. I'm like Lisa, please just talk about this. Lisa, say there's no one. Like, please say.
Nice.
um,
Oh, lovely to speak with you, Julia.
wow, thank you so much, Lisa. Um,
Send you lots of love.
yeah, bye bye.
Bye. I get so excited. We just both turn into squeaking bobs.